The U.S. tonight is maintaining its beefed-up military presence in the Persian Gulf region, but it may have already fired its most important and potent weapon, the harshest ever economic sanctions against Iran. Officials here acknowledge they are painful. We tried to understand, is there a breaking point? For as many headlines as it makes in America, Iran is a country we rarely get to see. One of the first things you notice here, those stalled construction projects along the Tehran skyline. Unemployment is high. Food prices have doubled. Things are very expensive?
Yes.
Shoppers in this bazaar tell us virtually everything has gone up. Even some who were better off are feeling the pinch. What is it like right now doing business in Iran?
Very hard.
Entrepreneurs like high-end fashion designer Mala Samani complain business is drying up.
It's become very less customer for it.
Because it's expensive?
Yes, because it's expensive.
Of course, pain to the economy is the point of the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign, using sanctions to force Iran's leaders to change their behavior to get back to the bargaining table.
We don't want money going out to sponsor terror. They are the #1 sponsor of terror anywhere in the world.
Back at home with Reza and Zara, they tell us those American sanctions were a surprise.
Many people didn't expect this, and they thought that as Iran stuck by its part of the deal, the United States would do the same.
Still, we found not all Iranians are blaming the U.S. Tell me about the economy.
It's terrible. It's very bad.
Do you blame the United States?
Well, no, there is a poem by Saadi. I don't know if you can. He said you have to get along with even the enemies.
The jury is still out on whether the U.S. pressure is working. Consumers here still have access to some popular items. For example, Apple doesn't do business here in Iran, but as I discovered, you can still buy Apple computers and iPhones through a gray market of third-party countries.
They come from China.
But people want to buy them? They're popular here?
Yeah.
Cyrus Razagi consults with companies looking to legally do business here.
Those guys, they know how to get the products into Iran, and there is enough consumer demand despite higher prices for those products to still be in the market.
But after 4 decades of sanctions, Iran has perfected the art of the workaround. Take oil, Iran's most valuable commodity. The U.S. effort to cut off Iran's oil exports has cost the country billions of dollars in revenue. But Iran's central bank governor insisting to me much still gets through. Can you put a number on it? How much oil you are still able to export?
As Mr. Trump has announced, we are exporting oil. Please let us keep the process to ourselves.
NBC's Tehran bureau chief Ali Arouzi has covered Iran for 12 years.
This is not a country on the brink of collapse by any means. They figured out ways of circumventing sanctions, and they're used to sanctions.
But for how long? That's the critical question the U.S. is testing tonight. While sanctions have long been a part of life here, people do say this latest round has been the most challenging. Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.